And welcome, guys. I'm so excited for tonight's training. It is going to be about copyright style, lifestyle posting, posting in a way to sell, posting in a way to make money. Because if you love money, drop a number one. Obviously, that's not why everyone starts this business, but money sure does help get you where you want to go. So my name is Natalie Nicole Sahutska. I have been with It Works for going into my 4th year now, double diamond leader, and I have always had a passion for writing. It wasn't until I joined this business and started doing attraction marketing that I realized that writing is something that can be utilized, to become successful in this business. And it's something that can be taught. It is something that you don't have to get straight A's at, in school. You don't have to write essays for a living. Like writing and copyright style and, all the different things that we're going to talk about. It's not like you have to study grammar to be good at this. So don't think that like, oh, you just, you're so bad at posting. No, like erase any negative self-doubt, self-hate talk about writing, about posting, about sharing your story, because all of these tips tonight are going to help you to get better at it. And that's why you're here, right? You're here to learn, you're here to grow. So if you have a issue or you struggle with writing posts in general, drop a number 2. I just kind of want to see where you guys are at. It'd be great if I could talk tonight. And if you feel like you just don't know what to post, comment a number 3. If you struggle with how to post, like how to write, like the actual mechanics of combining things and making it into a post, then I want you to drop a number 4. See lots of 2s. Okay, so posting, I feel like when we take the pressure off of posting and we just look at it as either blogging or sharing our story or just typing in your notepad or talking to a friend, you just have to change your mindset about it first. And I think, a lot of this business and everything that we kind of do and talk about, it all has to do with mindset, right? So if you're struggling to come up with a post, maybe you're not doing your self-development. Maybe you're not pouring into yourself and learning and growing as a person to then inspire, pour, and teach other people. So that's something that I have found, that if I'm doing my self-development, if I'm, going to church, if I'm getting inspired, if I'm watching motivational videos on YouTube, whatever it is, I just naturally feel lifted to want to write and share stuff. So that's just like a little side note. If you are struggling with posting, are you doing self-development? That's kind of when you have to self-evaluate and be self-aware of what you're doing all day long. And if you're not taking the time to actually write and to, create content, then that could also be one of the things that's kind of making you not feel as confident in this aspect, is just because it takes practice. That's what I'm getting at. This just takes practice, and you're going to get better at it as you go. And the cool thing is, ow, my nails are pulling out my hair. The cool thing is that your audience wants to see you progress, whether it be with the products losing weight, whether it be with your, your journey in the business, whether you're promoting to Ruby and then Diamond. Like, they want to see progress even in your posting. Okay. I know that for me, when I first joined in 2016, I was posting like, I don't even know. I was posting all the wrong things, but I didn't know any better. And back then, that's what we were doing, Now, when you're looking at posting, it's like thought out, and it like tells a story, and it's value, right? So what you used to do back then, don't keep doing that now, because you're supposed to grow. If you're not changing, you're not growing. So your audience wants to see you growing. So it's okay to post a specific way, or copy and paste, or whatever you've been doing up until this point. That's okay, but just know that now you're going to start working on it, right? And as you're getting better at it, as you're trying to develop your brand and develop your culture, within your team, you are going to change your posting style, and your audience is going to notice that, and they're going to praise you on it. So this is hopefully going to help with all of that. So drop a number 5 if you're excited for growth and for change in a good way, of course. Okay, so copywriting style is basically selling and persuading and psychology in the wording to make sales. So copyright mainly means, like, you see those advertisements, or you see the Google, like Google ads or Facebook ads, Instagram ads. They just have like those catchy phrases and stuff. That's basically like copyright styling. But copywriting style writing. But I like to incorporate that into like my lifestyle posts. So whenever I first start thinking of a post, I have kind of started branding myself with quotes. I will always try and say something to kind of catch people's attention or to continue reading. So number one, if you want to write down notes, headline is number one. You need to know what your beginning thing is. Like, you should not have the punchline at the beginning unless it's like, oh my gosh, I just promoted. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on what it is, but you want to grab people's attention so that way they keep reading. You don't want it to just be something bland, or, you want it to be something exciting. So, for example, I just made a post before this. I guess I can just go off of that. And my Facebook name is just my name on here if you wanted to see the visual, but I honestly just wrote, where'd my post go? Our intentions create our reality. Doesn't that kind of make you like stop and think, like, huh? Like, what? And that's what you want to do. You want to kind of grab people's attention and just to kind of like shock them or wow them or inspire them or motivate them or influence them, to just take a second. Because when people are on social media, they're scrolling, right? So if you do something to grab their attention, the first thing, the headline, that's going to keep them reading. And if they're not going to continue reading, then what is the point of you even posting, right? So that's why headline is number one. Your first sentence is a grabber. I love quotes. I just feel like they work because people can relate to them. People can apply them to their own life, like whatever's going on with them. And it also is a reflection of what you're going through and what is going on in that post and in your life. So I don't know if you guys know about the love languages, but I'm obviously words of affirmation. So quotes speak to my soul. That's why I got inspired right there. So I'm always getting inspired. But you just have to find your brand with it, your niche. I know some people have done questions. Like, you can ask a question, what intention did you set today? And then like kind of ask a question as the first sentence, because I feel like that also makes people kind of stop because it's a question. People are more likely to reply or to keep reading if they're asked a question. That's just psychology. So I feel like just being aware of your first sentence is key. And you want to also understand your reader. So before you're kind of even going to basically now we're just kind of like assessing. Okay, we're assessing how to write these quality value lifestyle posts. Who is your audience? If your audience is moms, you need to be writing about motherhood. If your audience is single college girls, then you need to be writing to single college girls. And when you read your post, it's like you're typing and you're writing to that person. Does that make sense? So you're basically putting yourself in the potential shoes and you're saying the words that they kind of want to hear, or that maybe, they're avoiding knowing something that you're kind of talking about. Like, you kind of want to make them feel something, but you want to know who your audience is first, because if your audience on your friends list is a bunch of all different people, then that's okay too. Then you just need to post to all different targets. And keep that in mind as you're going through the week, as you're going through the month, as you're going through your journey with this business, is you want to post towards those other people, because you're going to attract moms on your team. You're going to attract blues, yellows. Like, I used to post to the color personalities. If you've been watching me or, my team, I know we did so much training on this. I sometimes post for reds. I sometimes post for greens, for blues, or for yellows, based on what's going on in my life. When I'm traveling, I'm talking about all the fun. I just went on that cruise. I'm posted, woohoo, had the time of my life, because I want to attract other blues because I just went on a cruise. So, whatever you're going through, that's kind of what you should base your post on. And don't make it fake. That's the biggest thing too, is you have to be genuine. Don't fake that you're paying off debt if you're not, because people can sense the difference in your feelings from that post. So that's something that I also wrote down going into this. But what keeps your audience, captivated? And you can even ask, why do you guys follow me? What kind of posts do you like from me? Or just look at what your audience naturally likes to read or comment on. And that's what I do sometimes. I'll just go back through my posts. I'll go back through my Instagram. I'll go back through my Facebook, and I'll see what got the most engagement. When was I posting? What was I posting when I was signing the most people? And sometimes we just have to self-reflect and go back and assess. And we get off, track sometimes. Like, we get influenced by this person to post this way, or, this new way of posting came out, and then we all start copying that. No, like, what works for you? Because what works for me may not work for you. So go back through your page, look at what spoke to your audience, and then do more of that. And it's going to feel repetitive, but you guys, leaders are like repeaters. If you're not feeling like you're repeating yourself, then you're not being a good leader. That's something I learned from John Maxwell's training. So, it's okay to feel like you're telling your story over and over and over and over again, because people need to hear it different ways. It may not speak to them, or they might not read it that day, but then when you post it in 2 days, they're going to read it and it's going to speak to them, but they kind of subconsciously already seen it 2 days ago. So it's that consistency aspect. Something else I wrote down is you want to make specific claims. Like, you want to be bold in what you're saying. And, this is how we always talk about past, present, future. Before It Works, I had $600,000 in debt. This is just the example. I had $600,000 in debt, and now I've been able to pay off a third of that. And it feels so good knowing that by age 30, I will have everything paid off. So you want to use numbers, statistics, dollar amounts. I used to always post how many bonuses I've earned, and it's not to brag. It's just because people want to know that actual number. They want to know the credibility. They want to know the exact amount. You know what I mean? Because if you just say, oh, I've made a lot of money, that doesn't sound as good as I've earned over $85,000 in bonuses, right? Like, there's a big difference there. So if all of this is making sense so far, please drop a number 6. I know I talk fast, but I'm just on a roll. All right, awesome. So whenever we pitch the Real Fight X, perfect example of copyright style posting. What do we say? We have a new weight loss product that can help you lose 31 pounds in an average of 90 days. That is copyright style writing. It is grabber. It is quick. It is stats, right? We're giving them the stats. We're giving them the credibility of clinically proven. There's my cat Pharaoh. Everyone say hi. He wanted to make a guest appearance. We're giving them basically that urgency too, where we say, like, we have, 2 spots left, 5 spots left. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, as long as you're doing everything else. You're giving them the value, you're giving them the stats, you're giving them, the credibility, essentially. Adding your testimony to it is the best, because people want to know that you actually used the products, or that you actually are walking the walk with the business. And I know sometimes, people say, well, I don't have a success story yet. Borrow your uplines, borrow another person's. I used to share a story every Saturday, and I hashtagged it Storytime Saturday. I used to share other people, top income earners, people on my team, sideline sisters, whoever story I could find. I would try and make it a task to get a picture with them at an event, and then find their story and post it. Why? Because that's credibility. That shows that I actually know this person. That's not just a copy and paste picture off of, Pinterest with, like, just a random story. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with those either, but you still want to add in the ones that look legit. You know what I mean? Because nowadays, social media, everything is fake. So or it can be perceived as fake with filters, Photoshop, all that jazz. So if you take the time to plan out your posting, plan out your writing, you're going to get more out of it. And don't just copy and paste their story. I would always add a intro paragraph to the person's story, and I would actually go through and tweak it so that way it wasn't flagged in the algorithm. But no, sir, dishes are not for you. But what I would do is I would add like an intro and be like, wow, this, Alyssa's story is so inspiring. I know so many teen moms that were in the same situation, and now, they have hope because of this business. So you still want to add something to kind of relate to them, so that way your audience is like, oh, this isn't just a random success story. This is something that could happen to me because it's helped her friends or her team go through that too. Does that make sense? So you just want to add like that fluff around it. And to us, it may be common sense. To us, it may be like, duh, we know that other people can have that because she had that. But your audience doesn't know that, you guys. You have to write as if your audiences are like toddlers, like they're just babies and they just don't know anything, because they don't. And I feel like we assume that they know because they don't, but they don't know what we know. You know what I mean? So when you kind of put yourself in the mindset of the potential, and you put yourself in the mindset of, they don't know nothing, it's our job to teach them stuff with your posts. And then you're teaching them stuff in messages too, because you're adding more density to what you're saying on your posts. So that's why whenever I post certain things, I'm messaging. It's like a full circle. That's why I keep using my hands, because it's like when you do this and you do this, you're going to get the result. Whatever I'm posting about, that's usually what I'm messaging people about. And I guess this is just going into tips about posting and whatnot, but I just feel like it's so important to understand the mindset behind it, because if you're posting about product but you're following up about potential distributors, there's no connection there. They're not going to care about the products because they have no clue what the products could do for them, because you're posting about lifestyle posts. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you have to do both at the same time. And I know for me, what works is posting like a lifestyle post, posting about a product before and after, and then immediately after going to following up about that. It's like you're manifesting your enrollments because you're intentional with it. I just posted about intention, you guys. You have to be intentional. What is your intention when you're posting? Is your intention to just throw up a copy and paste post? Because that's not going to get you paid. If your intention is to make money, then you need to set that intention of, I'm going to sit down today and write a bomb ass post because I'm ready to make some money. That's how you have to go into posting. And that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years almost. And I feel like it's just a necessity, because if you don't set the intention, then what is the point, right? When you first join this business, you set an intention to a goal, right? I want to go Ruby. I want to make $500 a month. I want to go Diamond. I want to retire. I want to do X, Y, and Z. But if you're not setting the intention with the small things, how are you going to get the big thing, right? Okay. So what is your intention with posting? If your intention is to inspire, to motivate, to offer hope, to teach, like, what are you trying to do? That's part of your brand. But same thing goes with posting. Sometimes I will like look at my posts for like the week, or just like start scrolling, and I will look and I'll be like, okay, what's missing? What didn't I post about? What aspect of the business, what aspect of my life haven't I shared? And then I will post based on that. So I feel like that's something that we don't talk about, is you have to look at what you've been doing before you figure out what to do next, right? And I do that with stories too. That'll be a training for tomorrow night. But I always look at what I've done, what I've posted, and then I do the next thing, because you have to see what's missing. If you're constantly posting the same type of posts, like join my team, join my team, join my team, and it's not working, it's because you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different, reality, a different result from it. But if you're posting, for example, like, this is my story. This is why I got started. This is what it's done for me. Here's my teammate. She just promoted. She's kicking ass. This is what's happening to her. Here's the freedom of this business. I don't have to call out of work when I'm sick. Here's me making sample cash because people want our products. Like, you're showing all aspects of the business, and that adds density and value to people wanting to join you. That's going to attract people all different ways, or it's going to attract a person for each thing that they want. So that's kind of going back to, posting for your audience. What does your audience want to see? They want to see everything. They want to see all the things. And that's why you have to post for all the different personalities. That's why you should be posting for all the different, age groups even. I mean, there's just so many different categories that you can think of. And at the end of the day, you can't say or post the wrong thing to the right person. But I do feel like you are in control of setting that intention of who do you want on your team? That's something I feel like, we got backshot. Who do you even want on your team? Because that's who you should be posting about and adding friends of that nature. So if you are struggling to figure out like who you want on your team, then you need to decide, what are the characteristics? Do you want someone positive, someone motivated? Then you need to post like that. See what I'm saying? You are going to attract what you're posting. So take a self-reflection moment, look at your posts. Have you been attracting those types of people that are, maybe whatever you're posting about, I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but whatever you're posting about, whatever style you're putting out there, that's what you're going to attract. And if you don't want that, then make a change, because it's that easy. You can change how you post, you can change how you dress, you can change your audience, and you can change your business. It's just a matter of setting that intention. So drop a number 7 if you fired up. All the 7s. Okay, awesome. So to finish up here, I don't have that much more notes. You want to, write these 3 words down. You want to post with empathy, creativity, and passion. And this is all stemming back to your brand. What is your brand? What are you passionate about? Because then that's naturally going to come out. And it may take you years. It may take you months to figure it out. I feel like I'm just now figuring it out, like on a different, deeper level. And I'm going into my 4th year. You know what I mean? So it's the journey. Trust the process. It's okay if you don't know yet. But just, if you're religious, ask God. Be like, God, like, what is my calling? Like, what is my purpose? Empathy, creativity, and passion. And I feel like the people that get the most creative with posting, but not too complicated, there's a difference between creative and complicated. Drop a number 8 if you think over is complicated as hell, because I think that app is too complicated. So I don't use it because it complicates me. And I feel like I've had potentials get turned off because of over. They straight up told me, Natalie, I'm not a graphic designer like you. I can't join this business. I was like, okay, red flag, red flag. I stopped using Over. Sometimes, obviously, I put slides in that are pre-made, but I'm not focusing on Over anymore. I'm going back to Unfold, because when I was using Unfold, that's when I was promoting. So you got to go back to what you used to do that made you the most money, that gave you the most, success, that made you the most happy. I feel like Over, I would get caught up in the scroll of trying to figure it out and what font to use and what emoji to put, like whatever picture, like it just took too much time, and it was taking time away from what I should be doing. So if you just want to upload stuff and write on it, do that. Do you, boo. Like, do whatever is gonna make you happy, that's not going to take up too much time, because at the end of the day, graphics are great, pictures are great, but are they duplicatable? Are they relatable? So get creative, but get creative in your own way. Drop a number 9 if you follow Ashley Mayfield. Shout out to Ashley Mayfield. Do you love Ashley Mayfield? I know I love Ashley Mayfield. I'm going to drop a 9 too. Okay. Drop a number 9 about Ashley Mayfield. Do y'all watch her stories? Do you see how simple they are, but they're creative? Take notes on that, okay? That is what I'm talking about. Being creative with how she does her thing, but it's not complicated. It's duplicatable. Anyone can do that. I don't know if anyone's on Ashley's team, but you know what I mean? Tell her I'm shouting her out, because I'm telling y'all, her stories is the perfect example. So if you don't know who she is, go follow her. Creative, not complicated. And you want to have empathy, meaning like you want to talk about how it's perfect example. I'm not even going to try and make stuff up, because I've been posting like this, so I can just read y'all my posts. Okay. Perfect example about empathy, because I feel like some of y'all are probably like, what are you talking about? The other day I made a post. It was Sunday. I started it off with a quote. So hang on. Side note, lower your screen light and you can see everything. So I posted this post with Carla Burns, Dr. Carla Burns. Shout out to Carla. If you don't know who she is, she's awesome. And I wrote, if you can dream it, you can do it. So I started off with a quote like I usually do. Then I wrote, I remember when anything and everything went on a credit card, including Christmas presents. The bills kept piling up, and so did my stress. So that's me being empathetic to other people, right? Because I'm sharing the struggle, I'm relating to them. I'm sure other people are reading this in the same boat. Then I wrote, it wasn't until I stopped listening to broke people and started surrounding myself with successful people that changes began to happen in my finances. So that is being creative, right? I'm giving them a creative approach to life, because they're probably not going to think of that on their own, because they're just, people get stuck, right? Like we've been stuck probably before this business. So then I wrote, not everyone is going to have your vision, and that's okay. So again, empathy. I'm giving them that empathy. Like, it's okay if other people don't, believe in it. If you're looking for a side hustle to help you get through the holidays debt-free this year, comment your favorite Christmas gift below and I'll message you. So something else I wrote down is you have to have a call to action. I don't recommend a call to action with every single post, because then you sound like a salesperson. It's too pitchy. You have to first give them reasons to do the call to action. So that's where your story comes in. That's where the lifestyle post, that I mentioned before, of you making money, you having freedom, you doing X, Y, and Z, or your team success story, an ambassador story. And then you make a post like this where it's like, drop a gift. Did I have any gifts? I don't think so, but I had messages in my inbox. Same thing. Either way, it's a call. It's pulling people in. That's what you want. So we talk about that with story writing all the time. You want to explain it, and then you want to invite them, right? You want to invite them because they don't know that it's an option for them unless you ask them. And posting, I took this picture with Carla with the intention that I was going to post about Carla, basically. You know what I mean? Whether it be her story or she's successful. So I tied that into the post. So going to events is key, because you get pictures with successful people and then you have credibility. And then posting with passion, that just ties into the business. Use that as a lifestyle post, you guys. Because of the freedom of this business, because of the extra income for this business, I can pursue my passion in knitting. I can pursue my passion in dance. I can pursue my passion in the church, and I don't have to miss work to go do what I want to do. Talk about your passion in the sense that it works, gave you the freedom, gave you the finances, gave you the flexibility, gave you the, maybe the light to find your passion and your purpose. It doesn't matter how you talk about it. You just need to talk about it. So you want to communicate through words, and communicate in a sense that you're going to be promoting an emotion out of people. So think, okay, would I feel that? Would I get that feeling of like, ooh, like you don't kind of want to like talk down to people, but you do want to kind of just like have that red flag kind of raise up, like, oh, like, you kind of just stop them in their tracks to make them think. Ashley Mayfield also did an amazing video on her Facebook. It's called basically writing how to capture someone's attention, something like that. And she talks about the pastor method. Y'all, I wrote in the pastor method after her video, and I got some feedback. Some people were in my inbox like, oh, I had no clue. And I was like, but it's because I wrote it in that style. So definitely recommend just, being resourceful. If all of this is the first time you're hearing any of this, go on YouTube. There's lots of videos on how to write copyright, how to write better lifestyle posts, I'm sure. But this is just like the breakdown of how to do it and the psychology behind it. Because I feel like when you just start being self-aware of how you're posting, you can change it. But if no one kind of points it out, then you're probably just going through the motions and you're copying and pasting and you're doing what what your leader says, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you are in control of your business. So I just want to remind you guys, you can do what you want to do. And I just found that taking the time, sometimes it takes me 2 hours to write a post, but that one post will get me 10 people in my inbox over the next month or week or whatever the case is. So I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity, because you want to take your time and to put that passion behind your post. That passion could be, looked at different ways. Your passion could come from you actually taking the time to write it because you're so passionate about what this business can do or has done for you. No, get out of the sink. My cat likes to go in the dishes. I don't know why. Okay, so study, learn, watch, read other people's posts. Kind of what I was saying is, I have hair stuck to my face. You can just start creeping on people's pages, you guys, at night. That's like my homework time. So either I'm reading a book, I am listening to YouTube videos, I'm like studying for whatever I need to do in my life, or I'm also like gathering content. I'm creeping people's pages. Creep on whoever you idolize. Creep on Ashley Mayfield's page. Look at the way she writes. Creep on, my page. Creep on whatever your favorite ambassador is, whoever is successful in this company or, just in life, whatever that you relate to. Look at how they write. And then just copy and paste it into your notepad and then use it for inspiration. Take ideas from it. Take the flow of it. Don't just take their words, because that's not good, but take their words and look at like the flow. Like they were talking about how before I was a mom, I remember never having time at home. Okay, well, if you're not a mom, this is how I would tweak it. I would say, before I was a cat mom, I remember never feeling like I had a purpose to help someone else or whatever. You know what I mean? You can just still take that and then tweak it to fit your brand, your life, your story. Don't feel like you can't take someone's post for inspiration because you don't have the same story. You just can take their ideas and their flow and their concept of how they're talking and apply it to your life and just edit, things out. So I feel like editing other people's posts sometimes helps me come up with one. I don't always think of them off the top of my head, y'all. I'm not that magical. Like, I look at other people's posts and then I incorporate things that they wrote and then I change it and I add my own things to it. So, and I feel like if you guys start doing that, maybe that would help to get more comfortable with posting. But ultimately looking at what you're posting already and then just taking that, to the next level. Your audience wants to see growth. So if you have not evolved with your posting style, with your content creating, with your graphics, with your bios, I mean, we already talked about that with Instagram, then it's time. It's time to level up if you want to get to the next level of your life, in your business, in your finances, all the good things. Something else that I wrote down is you have to get crystal clear on what you're offering and what you're writing about. So if you're kind of all over the place because your life is all over the place, then legit say that. Guys, I feel like I'm all over the place. Like, call yourself out, because then that gives your audience clarity. Even if it's not the clarity that you want, I know, like with me going through my past summer, breakups, I would say like, some days it's a struggle. Like, I straight up admitted the weakness, because then my audience gave me grace and they understood that I'm going through something and they're not expecting me to be on my A game. Does that make sense? So you're still giving clarity to what is going on in your life, but you're not giving clarity of, I'm going triple diamond, I'm going ambassador, because maybe that's not the right time or season. You know what I mean? So it's okay to cast vision, but you don't have to always feel that pressure of being perfect and casting that vision on your time. Does that make sense? Drop a number 10. Yeah, exactly. Say that you're a hot mess. Like, say exactly whatever's going on. And that's okay to admit those things, because your audience wants vulnerability. They want you to be honest with them. They don't want a perfect person to join, because they know that they're not perfect. So like I said, put yourself in their shoes and kind of talk in a way that they're going to relate to you. Awesome. All the 10s. Okay. Okay. And the last thing I wrote down that I wanted to share with you guys that I'll end on is, I love this. I love this quote, saying, phrase, whatever. If you're going to sell products, number one, okay, if you're going to sell products for someone else, that's number two. If you're going to sell products for another company, or if you're going to represent another company, you first need to learn how to sell yourself. Why? Because people aren't going to buy the products. They're going to buy into you before they buy into the products. So what is your reputation? If your reputation is, hopping around or joining different companies, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we have to go through that to get to where we want to go. But you may have to work a little bit harder on saying why you absolutely love this company, love these products. You know what I mean? So you need people to buy into you now because you've done X, Y, and Z. If you haven't been sharing why you love what you're doing, or your personal results, or what's going on in your life and why this business is beneficial and yada yada yada, people don't care about join my team $99. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give them the reason as to why they should join you, because they love you. People will always join you or buy from you because it's you. Has anyone ever had someone where they're like, legit, I don't even know what product I want to buy or why I'm buying this, but I just want to support you? Like, have you been through a promoting season where people just buy products from you? I see my girl Lizzie on here. She had some dude spend, I think, $1,000 when she went Ruby. He was just so supportive of her that, he bought into her. He bought into her vision. He bought into what she was doing, and, the culture she created on her page, and the momentum when we did that countdown of, I just need 2 more orders, 1 more order. You know what I mean? Like, that excitement, people will buy into you before they buy into the products. And I'm sure he's got stock of products. I'm sure a lot of people do, right? Because they want to support us. They love us. And, I just hope that you guys keep that in mind, because if you don't sell them on you, and if you don't know who you are yet, that's okay. Ask people, or grow into who you should be. Ask people like, why do you follow me? That type of stuff. But just know that they have to fall in love with you first. So if you're not sharing who you are, if you're not sharing your passion, if you're not sharing your attributes, if you're not sharing your value to offer people, we all have a reason why we're here on earth, right? We all have something to offer value to other people. And if you're not putting that out there, then what makes you think people are going to support you? You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of give them a validation. And it's not saying this in a negative way, so I hope you guys aren't taking it like that. But it's just, there's other distributors out there, right? They can just go to the It Works website. So why should they support you and not someone else? Or why should they buy from you and not just go straight to It Works? Are you going to offer them great customer service? Then you better be posting about that. Say, I love, helping my customers get the best results. Straight up write what you're going to offer them, what value you're going to give them, because then they're going to buy into you, because you're giving them that proof. You're giving them that credibility. And basically you're giving them that trust. Sales are built on trust, y'all. And whether it's becoming a distributor or a customer with you, that's still selling, right? That's still sales. So at the end of the day, just try and do better than you did yesterday. Try and take some time with your posting. Don't rush it. Try and, apply all these tips. And I promise you guys, you're going to go so much further. It's just putting in that effort and not taking the shortcut to success, because there really isn't one. The only thing you can do is just learn from, your mistakes, trial and error. And that's what I had to do too. Trial and error, you guys. If you feel like you want to start posting a certain way, try it. If it's not working, then change it. But I feel like you need to do it. Like I've been saying on every training, anything new that you're implementing, you need to do for at least 2 to 3 months before you decide to switch it up, because you need to give your audience time. The algorithm limits who sees stuff. You're not going to get that instant gratification with this business and with posting and social media. Social media is not instant gratification. It takes time. So if you guys love this training, drop an 11. And I'm so excited for the next one.